Hi Sagittarius, we're going to take a look at some cards to meditate on in the butterfly spread. And the center of the spread is for a current energy. And we have 4 of Cups. Try not to be so picky, okay? And that's kind of the message there. So with this card, I know that kind of sounds a little bit harsh to say, try not to be so picky, okay? The 4 of Cups is really what I'm reading into this is we have the bottom of the deck, we have toxic wishes. Be cautious of those who take more than they give. And I feel like with that message of what's at the bottom of the deck there, we're kind of looking at a current energy where it's there may be options, but there's what I'm hearing is like there's this sense of I have to go and please certain people or conform to a certain situation. That may be something to be paying attention to in your life right now. Where are you conforming that is not, I don't really am not fond of the word authentic, because I think like that's like, you know, you authenticate an antique or something, but genuinely you. What is not really fitting with who you are? And are you trying to please? And I feel like this is more a card for a lot of you of trying to satisfy others who are picky. Because in this card, I'm going to hold it up and see if you can get a better view of it. Because it's really important for you. These are meditations more than any kind of predictions for you. So I do want you to bring your own intuition into things, okay? But I'm looking at this as like, here you are, and this is the person who's being picky. So for a lot of you, it may be an external person, like somebody else is being very picky, you're trying to please them. And for some of you, this may be like you're trying to please people who are just in your head right now. You know, people who have criticized you in the past, said don't do this and that's not good, or made fun of you for something. And those people are not even in your life anymore. And yet in your mind, and I do this too, we're all human, so we do these things, where it's like I'm trying to please, or you're trying to please people who aren't even in our lives, but the memory of the judgments they cast on us, we're trying to please, whereas there's a different route to go. What we're going to do with the butterfly sprout, if you've never seen it, it's sort of like, imagine this is kind of the cocoon where it's like brewing and taking shape, and we're going to look back at kind of the caterpillar phase that led to this, and then we're going to look at the wings once you come out of the cocoon, what you're hoping the wings would be. And we're going to look at, you know, like one that's going to be very helpful to you, one that's not helpful, and again, past. I'm not articulate today. Please don't mind it. So we're going to go, I feel like there's these 2 cards that want to come out. And we're going to go into, how am I supposed to please do guide this? Okay, this is going to be in kind of like a not helpful past influence that's causing this sort of situation here. And I think this is just really a confirmation of that. And it feels like there was a particular person you tried to please in the past and it didn't work out. And it kind of caused this shift in you to kind of look at what the flaws were, but to forget what the gifts and your, you know, what was great about you, but to spend too much time focusing on the flaws that you have because of somebody that you tried to please. And this could be, I mean, with the cups, this could have been, and I'm being told this could be a teacher, not just like a lover or a family member. I mean, it just, for some of you, it was a boss, a teacher, someone who had influence, someone that at one point you tried to please, but they never were, and you ended up focusing more on the negative aspects of yourself and forgetting what was positive because of that relationship. Now this card really wants to come out. See where we need to put this. We do have the toxic wishes. Wishes. Toxic, that's a very interesting slip. And this is, be cautious, again, this is the card that was at the bottom of the deck. So this is an important part. And if you're trying, I'm being guided to say, if you're trying to figure out who or what situation that was, one way to reflect on it is like, where did you feel like someone just took and took and took, but never gave back? And that could help you not just figure out who or what situation, but also there's an element of like, in knowing that they took more than they gave, you can kind of start spotting that in the future so you don't have to worry about repeating these situations. But it also gives you a way of perceiving what did they do rather than, hey, wait a second, maybe I didn't do things as wrong, but that person was just coming from an unhealthy place in themselves rather than you were flawed. It's just the other person was coming from an unhealthy place. And that's a message for some of you. Okay, now let's see what kind of past, helpful influences there are. I feel like this here, it's sometimes hard to find these positive and good influences. 8 of Cups comes out. If your life feels stale, explore some new scenery. And with the 8 of Cups, I'm not getting this sense of, too many options or anything like that. Because we are looking at it in the past. We are looking backwards for self-exploration here. And I'm going to get a clarifier on that because I feel like with this, I'm seeing there were hopes and dreams. And it's like, you really, like, you didn't need anything that was in any of those cups. There's sort of like an independence. And this really, when we were looking at this down here, this Ace of Cups and the 5 of Cups, that trying to please, it's like, those people's cups, you didn't even need them. Like, look how free this person is to just walk away from them. So I do feel like whatever the situation is here, where it's kind of like still trying to please, I feel like some of you have already like walked away from these people because you knew that they were not healthy, but there's a lingering effect from it. And I want to just get one more out of here. 9 of Wands here. And the saying on this particular card, this is the Cozy Witch Tarot. So it says, it would take a hell of a lot more to defeat you. And I think this is calling you back to your strength. Yes, there's been wounds in the past, but you know how to get away from situations. You've done it before. And for some of you, you might be kind of like teetering with, wait a second, is this the right situation person for me? Am I going back into old ways? But this really is clarifying that, you really don't need these people who take more than they give. You have walked away from that before. You know how to do that. And you're a very strong person. And really looking back at where you've been strong, where you've stepped away from. I'm sorry, there's like a lawnmower just driving by right there outside. And I have one more clarifier card that wants to come out here. The World. Okay, yay, you did it. Now do something to celebrate a job well done. Some of you have taken this path before where you have broken free from these kind of situations. So take however it resonates. This is mostly for meditation, for you to contemplate your situations. Hopefully it'll guide you through something that you're going through now. And, I always want you to use your intuition and your own mind and your own heart with these cards. I'll read the cards the way they're given to me to read to you, but always apply them in the ways that you know and see fit for you. But with this, I feel like you've already, you've successfully walked away from a really bad situation before. I just feel like you can look at how that situation made you see all of your flaws, or you can look back and you can see how that situation drove you to find your independence, to see how strong you were, and to know that the world is open to you. And then let's move on to what kind of, the wings. When we look at the wings over here, we're going to look at, what's a positive way of looking at things, a helpful way of looking at things so you can create a better future. And what is some, negative self-talk that might be creeping in that you might want to avoid so that you don't kind of stick yourself in get stuck in a negative energy. And that's where we'll go from here. So I want to go ahead and pull out for the negative self-talk kind of thing that might come about. 9 of Pentacles. Pause and savor the results of your success. Very interesting that it's coming out. I'm going to ask for a clarifier for that before I say anything because I don't want to. And we got 2 cards of clarifiers. We do have the Lovers. Will you or won't you? The choice is yours. And shine your inner candlelight bright enough for others to follow. Okay. For some of you, this is kind of a love situation. And I have to point out what is being shown on the card to me. And this is, this is like Snow White and the Sleeping Beauty or whatever. I think that's the one, the poison apple. And I think the poison apple, are you going to bite into it and put yourself, your true self, your higher self to sleep because you want love and you feel like then, you'll be seen and liked, and that's, I think, the cautionary there. I have like a hair that fell out here. Okay, I don't know. When I said hair, I felt like rabbit would be the word, but this is, since we have that in the what can work against you having a better future, to consider, avoiding a certain mental trap, so to speak. But this is the key to this. Are you going to put yourself, your true self, to sleep in hopes that you're going to get this happy ending and be loved and treasured? But the thing is, if you're putting your true self to sleep, then you never feel completely loved. You never feel satisfied in that. And that goes back to, here we are trying to please this other person. If you hear pitter patters in the background, that is my dog. She has decided to eat, and now she is heading to the couch, which means you coming up? Come on up, Julia, come on. Come on, you can do it, good girl. All right. So, doggy had to come up. All right, so let's look at like a positive outlook. Things that would help focus on. Now we do have the 2 of Cups. Some people are like the pumpkin to your spice. I think this is really calling you to find those who, accept your special flavor. Like, I don't know how else to word that, but instead of putting, like, here we have you putting your authentic and your true self, your higher self to sleep, here's you taking all of your quirks, all of your gifts, and even if some people don't like them, but you're finding people who are just thrilled with those, right? And we'll get a few more clarifiers. Like this card wants to come out here. And then I'm going to put that down. And I believe one more card, please. One more card for Sagittarius. Thank you. Oh, this is nice. This is actually really nice. Okay. Yeah, so here's the thought, you know, is really to remember that there are people who are going to like you exactly as you are. A lot of your flaws are not flaws. I love the saying, our flaws are the most beautiful parts of who we are. And then you have the Eight of Swords, which is stop overthinking and just do it. Just be you. And then you have the Three of Pentacles. And it's like, what's the saying? Teamwork makes the spell work. And this is really you gathering with people who appreciate you for who you are. So that's plenty to think about there. If you're really feeling in this situation, then that works. You know, if not, these are always also for meditation and for self-growth. So take it as you will. And I feel like, what am I going for? We want to like a closing card or something, don't we? We would like a closing oracle card or something. I did just split the deck on the Nine of Cups, live in a constant state of gratitude, and I was told be grateful for all of the beautiful parts of who you are. Okay, let's see. Where do we want to go? I was gonna do the Moonology. For some reason, I felt like doing the Moonology. And right at the bottom of the deck of the Moonology deck is you are good enough. And I kind of feel like we really don't need another card for this reading, but I am going to put this up top. Just right there, because you are good enough just the way you are, no matter what. Remember, if people have put you down for your being yourself, they were coming from a place of their own struggles and unhealthiness, and not a reflection of you. Bring love into the situation, and I feel like this is bringing self-love into it, and the answers you need are coming. And I think you will find those answers within you when you're honest with yourself and about, you know, whether, I don't want to justify other people's cruelty, but it is important to be able to know when someone is coming from a place of their own unhealthy mindset, and to not allow that unhealthy mindset of theirs to then become your unhealthy mindset about yourself. So is there anything else we need in here? Okay, I don't feel like there's, I feel like there should be something else in Moonology. Is there one more card, Spirit, for Sagittarius in the Moonology deck here? Just feel like there is one more in here. Expect a powerful change, and I think that is, like, you embracing you is a very powerful change. And I did see the surrender to the divine one, but it's just to your divine self. So I think those are the important cards that needed to come out there. And this kind of new start is coming. This is not for everyone, but for some of you, yes, you are on this path of your new start. And it may be a little bumpy right now because you are on the new start. That's for a portion of you, not everyone. All right, so hope that helps give you a little clarity or a little room to contemplate what's going on for you today. Whenever you catch the reading, they're timeless. Thank you for coming and joining and sharing this time with me. I will try to get these out just about daily, depending on the energy that I have. And like I said, these are for you to contemplate. They're not going to predict your situation because you have free will and you have your own intuition to work with. My job is just to pull and read the cards and express what the energy has to say in hopes that it will help you then take that energy even further to create something better for yourself. All right, Sagittarius, take care. I will talk to you soon.